the guy's like, do you know what this is? And I'm like, no, it's drainage. As far as I go, no, that was the servant's toilet back in the day. So I've got like a 2-foot stone wall, and then I have to go through another 2-foot stone wall. And so my Wi-Fi is pretty crap. So we've been struggling earlier, but it's been all right the rest of the afternoon. So
right.
the rest of the night. So
you've decorated well.
Yeah, I took all my old cards and put them up there because I was like, what else am I going to do with these? For my shop, what I do is I usually give about 10 or 15 cards from whatever team that orders from. And then, so I figured this is a cool way to kind of give back. So if you buy a shirt, you get cards. If you buy a jersey, I'll give you a pack of cards and some more cards. And just I mean, to be honest, most people out here don't care. They don't know who played for the '88 Mets. You know, it's not a big deal. But I think it's just some kind of fun, just to kind of go, okay, cool. Like here's some cards that you can go and look at. And, yeah, I usually try to stick in a couple good players there because I mean, what's a Darryl Strawberry worth from a 1988 Donners? It's not worth much, you know.
Yeah, not worth much. You know, only to America.
So for 75 years, the MVP awards have depicted Kennesaw Mountain Landis. I don't know if you've read this, but the Baseball Writers Association of America have voted to remove his likeness from it and replace him with Josh Gibson moving forward. Obviously, Kennesaw Mountain Landis was the commissioner who refused to allow black players to integrate, so that's some pretty big news.
Yeah, that's big news. Very big news.
Wow. I know that was in the works from Tad keeping me in the loop on these kind of things there, so I wasn't sure because I know we're doing some work with the Josh Gibson Foundation. So at least with you probably run the same problem there with Major League Players Association. We have to get permission to use a player's likeness.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So they were having the same thing there because if you paint somebody, you don't have to give any money to the Players Association or the family there. It's completely by choice. But if you do a printed card, that's when you have to start making concessions for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had no idea. I mean, I said, you guys are all the cool people. Like, you guys do all the awesome art. I'm just a dude with a microphone and a 160-year-old toilet. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually, I've looked into it and, you know, I've gotten legal counsel and everything. Since I illustrate my cards, I'm in the clear. You know, so if you know, in limited quantities, right. You know, before you know, I'd get in trouble, you know, quote unquote in trouble. Right. So, but you know, we try to go the legal route and want to get support from the actual league. You know, that's the best way to do it.
Exactly. You want to make friends, not enemies. So.
Yeah. Blacklist.
Also in the news, the Chicago Cubs and Yu Darvish have been beaten by Derek Jeter's Florida Marlins.
Wow.
Marlins have clinched the series.
You know, I mean, I'm a Met fan. I feel their pain.
They've never lost a postseason series, these Marlins. What are they like?
Yeah, you know, I mean, go figure. I mean, Derek Jeter knows what he's doing.
Do you go to many games then?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I try to. You know, I have obviously not this year, but last year I went to a few games. Yeah, to City Field.
Have you ran into Herm yet?
I have not.
Right. Yeah. So he's the guy that goes around to all the Mets games and draws it from various vantage points there. So he goes. I could ask him, like, what your best place was to sit around City Field, and so apparently he has this little art club. So what he does is he posts on Instagram that I'm in this section, and I'm going to be drawing that game there, and that's his art.
Oh wow! I'll have to look into him and see.
I had known of him, and then when he signed up for the project, that's actually really cool. So we got to chat to him earlier this week, and it was a lot of fun to hear. You know, how he got started doing it, you know, and just, you know, be able to go to all these games and just sit there. I did he did a shirt for the 7 line. So
yeah.
So it was cool to hear how he came up with that, just the idea. So, you know, next time you go to a Met game, you can go see Herm and say hi.
Yeah, I do. You know, the 7 line's another great story where they started selling in their van in the parking lot, and now they have their own shop in City Field.
Right, they just set up shop in the parking lot.
Yeah, you know, they started in the van, you know, just selling, and now they got you know, they're I was walking through City Field. I'm like, oh man, they have their own shop in City Field now. So they've grown a lot.
So
That's great.
So it's funny that because I've got a Mets friend out here that I chat to quite a bit when he's available. He's been busy lately, and he's absolutely gutted because they don't not ship internationally. So he's like, I wanted to buy so much 7-line stuff, but they don't ship internationally. It's some kind of legal agreement. They can't do it out there. So he has to like wait to go to
funny, like all these different ways of getting licensing deals. You can get it through the team only, just to sell in the stadium. Just so many rules, you know.
Yeah, it must be the stadium and their online shop or something like that there. But yeah, so I'm always like, well, if you order in the States and ship to somebody in the States, you can get it that way.
And then have them send it to you. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
That was kind of it. Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, but you know, I'm lucky enough. I grew up in Seattle, so I have people I know all over the states. I can get stuff sent to, and it's not a big deal. Where like John has 0 connections in North America, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, I just usually say to people, go to Jason Dare and tell him that John sent you. He'll get his brother to send it over for you. I have a friend, kind of, that I keep in touch with occasionally in Chicago, but it's really just by email.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I don't have any family or anything in North America or anything
right.
like that.
They hook you up with merchandise.
Yeah. Anywho, we are ready to go, guys, whenever you are.
Yeah, I know we're live, so.
All right. Welcome back to the 4th and final interview we have this fine Friday night. We are joined by Mr. Ramon Mejia for the 4th interview of the night. I'm John McKellar of the Glasgow Comets, and one half of the baseball podcast, Ball Caps and Bagpipes. We cover Scottish baseball week to week when there is a baseball season to cover. But right now we are part of the amazing NLBMArt fundraiser event to raise funds for the Negro League Baseball Museum. So this has been a long night so far. It's been a full plate, but we're really excited to speak with Mr. Mejia here. Before we introduce Ramon, here's my co-host Jason Dare.
I'm the other person. I'm Jason Dare. I'm former Baseball Scotland president and Baseball Scotland Hall of Famer. And thanks to everyone for watching the Meet the Artist series. We're having an absolute blast talking to everybody, and I'm excited about our guest tonight. Ramon, introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me, guys. Yeah, I'm Ramon Mejia from New York. I'm an artist, illustrator, graphic artist. And I'm doing this great fundraiser for the Negro League Museum, and I'm just happy to be here and excited to see what the future holds after this.
So Ramon, we always like to start off with a bit about your baseball background. So you grew up in New York. What club do you follow? Did you grow up playing baseball? And if so, to what level and what positions did you play?
I'm a diehard Mets fan, and I played baseball in college. Less than a year. I played shortstop, and I stopped playing because I had to leave school because of the finances weren't there. Mm-hmm. And so I could have continued to play, but I decided to become an ocean lifeguard. So, and I did that for 18 years. So that kind of like, I got obsessed with it, and it was just a great calling for me. So I continued to play here and there in summer leagues, but I just, I was happy where I was at. So, but I love sports,
Yeah. God, lifeguard. We've got him on for the wrong series here. I think you'd probably have a hell of a lot of stories being an ocean lifeguard.
I've got a few stories.
Okay, we'll definitely listen to one or two of them. We had to hear one or two of them. So,
goodness, I mean, it was being a lifeguard was life-changing. I was a baseball player out of college, and I trained 6 months to try to get on the beach, and they're very like a paramilitary organization, so it's really physically demanding. Mm-hmm. So I'll never forget the first day. There's 60 of us trying out, and there's like 20 spots, and here I am. I'm like, yeah, I played baseball in college. I'm a good athlete, and for a warm up. We warmed up in the morning by running 5 miles, and I'm a good runner. And I was a good runner, and people were dropping out. I'm like, man, these guys are just not in shape. You can't run 5 miles. But we stopped running 5 miles. They gave us like 5-minute break, and then they made us swim a mile in the ocean. So, you know, you in the ocean, you swim out 200 yards, you swim to a buoy, and you swim across, and then back in. Well, as I get to the first buoy, every muscle in both of my legs cramp up. So I'm like shark bait. I can't even move. So I get pulled out of the water by the lifeguards. You know, I'm cramping up. I'm just in so much pain, and I'm looking for, you know, someone to help me. And my drill instructor goes, "Okay, you ready to quit?" No one cares that I played baseball. They were just like, either you can do their job or you go home. So that was like very humbling, but it was an amazing experience. It made me a better person in every way. And it's a lifeguard for life. You know, we love the beach. You know,
I feel bittersweet about this because it feels like Baywatch has lied to me all these years. And then it's not all running around in slow motion and admiring females.
No. I mean, I'm not going to say there weren't females. I'm not going to say that. But, you know, we were all business professionals. You know.
So were you at a particular beach, or did you move around, or how does it all work?
I was part of a corps that had 170 lifeguards, and we were 5 miles of beach. So every week we would move around to a different station.
Right.
You know, so it was never the same beach. We were always moving around with someone new, different crowd, different type of ocean environment with, you know, bigger waves, smaller waves, a bigger crowd, a crowd that doesn't know how to swim too well. So it was really diverse. So it kept you on your toes, you know. So it was great.
Did you find that in a way substituted for being on a baseball team, then being part of that corps? And obviously traveling around as you would as a baseball player.
Yes, it fed my need for athletics, for competing, because you know that community is very alpha, very cocky people. So we were always trying to compete with each other. Oh, you're too slow. You're not fast enough. You're not strong enough. Your tan isn't dark enough. You know, so yeah, it was a good team that I was around, and we all pushed each other to do better. And yeah, it really, because I'm 10 years removed from it. I'm 46 years old. So, and I still train like it's my job. You know, I go for my runs and I train really hard. So, you know, I need that level of competitiveness. I need to train. I just love to do it. So yeah, I don't know where I'd be without any kind of competition of any kind, you know. That's just the way we are. That's the way I am.
So I'm curious about this, because obviously you would have done the running, you've mastered the swimming. So when does the cycling come in? You know, what part are you a triathlete?
The cycling, well, it's just natural progression. Everyone becomes a triathlete. You know, everyone, you got to push harder. You got to try a triathlon, you know. So I tried it. It hurt. It hurt a lot.
I can understand. I did a mini one, so that was enough for me. So if you guys actually do a real one, it's like, you know, my hat tip to you. Like, that is tough work.
You know, I have a lot of friends that do the one in Hawaii, and I could never. You know, that's beyond any kind of time that I want to put into. You know. Yeah. So, but now it's about staying healthy and being able to do it if I had to. That's what I tell myself. You know, I'm ready to play ball if I wanted to. If someone asked me, let's go play ball, I can do it. I don't like not being ready.
And if you're happy to be chilling on the beach and someone happens to fall in or someone around, you're always ready to whip the top off and jump in.
Yeah. You know, my fiance and I, we go to the south and we go to the beach, and I'm always watching the water, and I'm like, oh, that person might be in trouble. Let me go ask them. I'll go out in the water. Make sure they're okay. You're good. All right. And I'll swim back in. You know?
And of course you have to run down in slow motion.
Yeah.
So to get back to baseball, then you mentioned being a Mets fan. Growing up, do you have any particularly strong memories or favourite games from your time watching the Mets?
The 1986 team. I literally watched all 162 games. I was 12 years old. I watched every game, and man, it was great. I almost, I thought they were going to lose it, and it was just a roller coaster of emotions. And then the 1988 team, which should have won the World Series, but thank you to Oral Hershiser for blowing that idea right out of the water. And so yeah, I have great memories of the 80s, late 80s Mets. And then ever since then, the team hasn't been doing too well. I mean, we had in 2015 a good chance, but so yeah, I follow them, and I bleed Met blue as you're wearing a Yankee cap.
Yeah, let me. I'll turn it around. So the Mets have just been sold by the Wilpons to Cohen. Do you have a new optimism moving forward that things will be different?
Absolutely, totally new optimism. I know he's going to spend. He's got an ego like Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he puts his money where his mouth is, And I don't know what it is with that team. They need culture has to change there,
Yeah.
The Wilpons, I mean, it's a business. It's funny because I'll go to Citi Field, and the team is terrible and they're losing, but man, they throw a good party at Citi Field.
Yeah. Right.
Everyone's having a great time at Citi Field, and you don't even have to watch the game. You don't even pay attention. It's the environment is so great there. So, but I want to watch my team win. I want to watch them win. It's time. It's time. I'm tired of Yankees winning.
So it's funny you're kind of you seem to be pretty much echoing the sentiments of a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that?
I'm sorry, my little runt dog.
That's right. I've had both my children bomb the show twice already. So
yeah, it's my animal dog.
I was just going to say you kind of echoed the sentiment there of a prominent Mets fan that Jason and I know, a friend of our show, Keith Potter, the Next Guy Up podcast. He's a big Mets fan, and I tuned into his show a couple of weeks back, and they were talking about the sale of the Mets, and it's very much about Cohen is a guy who has the money and has the mentality of a Steinbrenner. It's almost like the Wilpons are like Steinbrenner's sons, Hal and Hank. In the way that they've run the Yankees in recent years, and then you've got kind of Steve Cohen, who's more like the boss.
Right.
It's going to be good for the rivalry and good for the city, I think, if the Mets are at that level, because if the Mets are at that level, then it's going to push the Yankees to go higher, and then the Mets will reach that level, and it's going to make New York more of an epicenter again, whereas at the moment it just isn't and hasn't been for quite a while.
It really hasn't. And the worst was the 2000 Subway Series, where they just, we lost to them in the World Series. And I was younger, so we were going to bars to watch the game, and I have to sit there and listen to the Yankee fans just it drove me crazy. That was the worst summer of my life. Fall. When I was like, optimism, and then got crushed.
Yeah, ideally the Subway Series and how built up it was in New York and in the media and just among baseball, it should have been a 7-game epic, but it was a 5-game relatively easy kind of win for the Yankees.
And it was the lowest rated World Series in history because everyone hates New York. Everybody hates New York. Nobody watched it, just us.
Yeah. There were a couple of interesting moments, like the throwing of the bat and stuff like that. That was fun.
Yeah.
The clearance through the bat part.
Yeah, Timo Martinez not running. Timo Perez not running hard when Jeter threw him out at home. Todd Zeile hit the top of the fence and it bounced. And I'll never forget that. I'm like, run! And he's jogging, celebrating a home run and gets thrown out at home.
Todd Zeile hit the first home run I ever saw.
Oh yeah.
I was watching. It was Yankees and Mets, which is how I became a Yankees fan. I was 13 years old at the time, so my logic was, whoever wins, I'm just going to follow them. And the Yankees won that night. The pitching matchup was Randy Kiesler versus Glendon Rush at Yankee Stadium the Sunday before the 2001 All-Star game. And Todd Zeile hit a home run to right centre field which gave the Mets the lead. Jeter tied it up about an inning and a half later with a home run into the porch. So, and then the Yankees kept scoring, and so I almost became a fellow Met fan, but not quite.
They pulled you to the dark side.
Exactly. Yeah, I became part of the evil empire instead.
Yeah.
Jason, do you want to pick up on the art side of things then, and then we'll come back?
Well, we're going to talk about baseball cards first. So,
Of course.
yeah, I know you're a fan because I was looking at your feed. We happen to have that same card of that Ermsey Bob Gibson.
Oh, he sent me one.
Did he?
I have one. Yes, he's a cool guy, and I was like, I love it because I have his first one, the actual, the one that he did for Topps 2020.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to have that. And he was like, yo, I'll send you one. And he sent me one. So I'm like, yeah.
I've been chatting to him for off and on for a little bit here because I've been getting those what do we call them, the cards, command cards. Yeah. And since I'm in Edinburgh, I'm the first person that gets them, and so I always share. And then he picks up on it. And one day he just dropped me a message and said, "How come you have these before everyone else?" I said, "Well, I'm in Scotland." And he's like, "Oh, I actually just never realized that." And so he's been kind enough to donate 2 cards for my auction.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He's donated Roberto Clemente and Sandy Koufax ones that he's done. And they're like 1 of 25s that he's done that way. So, but yeah, it was just a cool guy. Like, I always feel bad chatting to him because he's an artist. Like, I get you like engage your fans, but like we probably trade messages for 2 hours one day, and it was just awesome of him. And I think his work's probably the best out of 2020. I think he's my favorite artist.
Oh yeah, I bought all of them, all his 2020 ones.
You got Trout?
Yeah. No, I didn't get Trout. I got the other ones.
Right. Yeah.
Trout wasn't my favorite, so I didn't. I'm weird like that. I have to really like it, But I bought all his other ones. Yeah.
I saw the Trout and went, nah, that's just too weird for me. And then as it's gone on, it's just like, actually, no, that's your whole. And I started looking at him as an artist. It was like,
that's his style.
Yeah, and that really kind of grew on me. And I wish I would have bought more back when I could afford it.
Right. Yeah. Because now they're going for like, man, it's amazing how much they're going for now.
Yeah, I know. One day, like I said, I'll get a nice printer and I'll print out a nice one and I'll make my collection and they'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I would say, so speaking of Topps 2020, did you buy the Keith Shore, Dwight Gooden, and Joe Strawberry?
I didn't see the Dwight Gooden. I did not get.
Yeah, so Keith Shore did one, and he added Daryl Strawberry to the photo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I kind of thought, as a Mets fan, I was going to ask you, who's your favorite Met?
Oh man, I mean, I was a shortstop growing up, so Kevin Elster, Hojo.
Hojo, yeah.
But I really, really tried to mimic my game towards Greg Jeffries.
Greg Jeffries, yeah, we pulled the Greg Jeffries in the pack opening.
Yeah, he was the one because I mean he was kind of my size, so I tried to mimic his stance. I remember I was he was a third baseman, but I was like I like switch hitter. So yeah, I think Greg Jeffries is my all-time favorite Met.
Even though they treated him like crap and made him leave to California.
Yeah. I mean, he had tantrums. He liked to pull tantrums and be, he was always so upset when after he came off that breakout year in '88. They thought he was going to be the next, hitting champ, and he just, missed the mark, but that was, that's New York. They
exactly. If you're not
they run, they run you out of here. It's not for everyone. So
let's talk about your art, because obviously you said you tried out for college baseball, you did that for a year, and then going to lifeguarding. Were you doing paintings and drawings on the side there, or was it just kind of something that sort of developed later on?
No, I was always a doodler and a drawer. I would draw in the back of class and I get yelled at. The teacher's like, "You're a great artist, but you need to pay attention." So and then I remember going in high school, we had to take studio art, and they made us draw hands and I drew the, set of hands, and my teacher was like, wow, these are really great. She's like, you know, you should go to art school. I'll never forget my response to her. I was like, I'm going to play shortstop for the Mets. That was my response to it, and now what I think, I'm like, wow, she was, kind of right. I should have, right out of high school, gone to art school, but I didn't. I floated around. I do things non-traditionally. I try things out. School, I get bored easily. So traditional school was really, I wasn't buying it, you know. So I didn't go back to school until I was 26 years old. Yeah, and I was like, I want to be an animator. I looked up to Glenn Keane and Andreas Deja, and I was like, I want to work for Disney. So I went back to college and pursued my animation degree. And yeah, I just started drawing, and I got, I was 26 years old, and I just kept trying. I graduated when I was 29, but I didn't do it 100%.
Right.
I would lifeguard for 6 months, and then I'd go, I was a trainer as well, personal trainer in the winter. And then I'd get like freelance jobs at animation studios here in New York. Because back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like Flash animation was getting really big, and we had a couple of studios. So I worked at Animation Collective, Federator Studios, but they were like 3-month jobs. And I was like, I'm going to go back to lifeguarding. So, and you can't get good at anything or get anywhere if you're going to fragment everything. Right. A little bit here, a little bit there. So it was a learning experience for me. And then I realized animation wasn't for me because it's tedious. Man, there's nothing worse than having to animate a scene for 8-9 hours and having the director go, nah, I don't like it. Let's do this over. And I was like, deflated. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. I like making static images, So.
Did you use, I'm trying to think, it was Adobe
Flash,
that's what it was, yes. Because I studied multimedia as well, and we had to do design, and I did stuff in Flash. And I remember those big, thick discs you had to store everything on.
Yep. It was Adobe.
I don't know what I'm going to use it for.
Macromedia Flash. I remember it.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember studying all that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great time. It was great artists. Like, there's a lot of guys from Cal Arts and RISD and Savannah, like really top tier talent. So, I'd like to surround myself with people who are better than me at everything. So it makes me, grow. So yeah, I met some really cool guys, but again, it's a very unstable, it's tough to find work here in New York, at least. I remember Fred Seibert, who he's like the king of Nickelodeon. He told me, he's like, well, if you want to do something in this profession, you need to move to LA. And he's like, not gonna be here. I go to LA. And I wasn't willing to do that at the time. So, but fast forward now, I've been doing okay in the last 10 years. I got into fashion apparel, drawing graphics for Carl Banks' line and Alyssa Milano's line, and a lot of generic lines. So it's been good, but that I really like where I'm at now with this niche of sports art.
And then all of a sudden do what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like what I'm doing now, and I hope to grow it, and take it as far as I can.
It's a very similar story we're hearing from a lot of the artists where you're going, I'm getting paid, but it's not anything I'm passionate about. And like I said, like animating something for 9 hours to have someone go, nah, so that's just soul destroying.
Yeah, it is. It's, but I was working for an apparel company. I was doing pretty well, and I was enjoying what I was doing, literally drawing dinosaurs and trucks and all sorts of parents for boys apparel. And I mean, it's a tough industry because at a moment's notice, they can, you know what, we don't have the budget anymore and you need to go. That's the reality of our industry as an artist, designer, whatever you want to call it. So I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what, I can do this on my own, and I can make something for myself, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something for myself. I'm gonna grow a business of my own, and so I don't have to rely on someone to let me go after 6 months because they feel like their budget isn't, you know, it's not what they think it is. So yeah, I'm taking control, and I'm not gonna look back.
So when did you start doing the sports art? I know we talked about this off camera, but the sports card art, when did this come around? Was this an idea in your head, or is it just something you always wanted to do and try and see how it worked out?
I got it. I got it with a company that did promotional products for the sports industry, all the teams. That's where I designed the bobblehead and the sleeve, and I did a whole lot of really great projects. And I would tell the owner, I was like, you should do sports art, because I know, like, fans will love a poster of their favorite player, an illustration, or a baseball card. And he would just yes me to death. Yeah. And he never followed through with it. But then this Topps 2020 started to blow up, and I thought, I'm like, I have something to offer here. I can illustrate it's unique. I'm not doing what everyone else is doing. So I just kept designing a card, illustrating a card a day, and posting it on Instagram. I mean, every day, like clockwork. So then the Major League Baseball Players Association noticed it, and they're like, we'd like to feature you on Instagram. And I was like, oh, this is great. And as I told you before, they posted it. An hour later, Topps was giving me a call. We want you to, design a set for us. So yeah, that sparked it. And then I kept getting messages from fans going, are these cards going to be printed? When are they going to be printed? I want one. And, Topps wasn't willing to print them out because it was for their app. And my cards were downloaded over 100,000 times in 2 weeks. They were downloaded a lot. So I was like, I'm going to do this on my own.
Tell me about Topps, because I'm a junk wax guy. I'm 45. You said you're 46, so we grew up together, and we have those similar baseball memories. I'm guessing you probably collected cards back in the day, like everyone else.
Yes.
And I got dragged into the baseball card collecting thing again by a friend who does breaks, and he's done stuff up here in Scotland. He's like, I need someone to be my old school guy. You have cards. Let's do this together. And so now, but I mean, like, Topps 2020 is awesome. I love everything that's being produced. Some of it's just out there, but the Topps digital, I keep getting adverts for it. I'm like, I don't want digital, and I don't see why you'd want a digital version of things. A baseball card is something I can, stick in my sleeve. I might look at it for 20 years, but I still want that in hand.
Right. Well, the Topps Digital is an app. It's cool. I mean, you can have 1,000 cards in your app. They're saved. You can trade them. I mean, people are really into it. You have to buy coins. You got to buy coins to purchase the cards. So it's like a game, so it's cool. But yes, me personally, I want a physical card. So it's doing pretty well, but I don't think those cards will ever be printed. They're just gonna have the digital. So that's why I was like, I want my cards printed. So because I want a physical copy of it.
Yeah, I mean, like Matthew Lee Rosen was describing his bubblegum art, and he was just saying, like, he was buying packs and just opening them up, and that smell of gum, and that just brings back the nostalgia there. So
the powder.
Yeah, exactly. And I've already sampled a couple packs of the gum here, so we're not gonna do that again. But it was. I totally agree with that. Like, I want to look at it in hand. I want to read the stats in the back, and so looking at my phone, I was like, I
want it in a plastic case.
Yes, exactly.
I want to be able to hold it and put it and collect them. That's what I want.
Let's talk about what you have printed out, because you've got a couple of different series here. You've got various ones there, but you've got like got different names for them. You got the Hitter with Tony Gwynn, pretty excited about that. Tony Gwynn's my man.
Yeah.
Were you trying to create series for people, or were you just taking people that you enjoyed as growing up? Because I'm seeing a lot of like George Brett and stuff like that.
I'm doing retired Hall of Famers.
Right.
You know, I have something in the works, but I can't talk about it now.
Fun.
So, you know, if this was next week, maybe I can, you know, I would like to tell you guys, but I'll let you guys know if everything works out, and it looks like it is going to work out. So,
Awesome.
yeah. So yeah, I'm working on a Hall of Famers to release to everyone. So, but so yeah, you know, I don't want to get in trouble by Major League Baseball by doing their current, because I printed out a Tatis Jr. And a friend of mine who knows his agent told me that he's getting upset that people are, you know, selling with his name on it.
Right.
And I don't want to upset him, just in case you know, down the line. So I was like, pulled back on doing current players. You know, I want to do it the right way. So I'm not going to be doing any current players right now, but retired players. That's what the direction I'm going in at this point with these cards.
That's really cool. Like I said, I think it's awesome. I'm looking at it right now. I really enjoy your work, and like the nicknames on there, and
yeah,
the Man of Steel, the Hitman, the Big Unit, Dr. K. You got a couple modern players on there. You got a judge there for somebody who's asleep.
Yeah.
But how would you describe your style of work? At least with the cards. Let's talk about the cards. So.
Yeah, I mean, my style has always been like cartoony. You know, not too cartoony, but not too realistic. It's funny that I had someone send me a message recently, and he was like, "Have you worked in animation?" Because your style is very animation. I was like, "Well, it's funny that you ask." Yes, you know, that's just the style I draw in, and you know, I'm being influenced right now by comic artists, so I want to add a little bit more detail to them, make them a little more edgier.
Right.
So it's going to evolve. You know, the more you draw, the you know, your style evolves, your influences change. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the way they're turning out, and it just kind of flows out of me. So, but I think my style is unique and something that hasn't been done. So I think, you know, I should do okay.
Yeah, no, I like it. It definitely just pop when I look at the cards there. It really does kind of stand out, and I really enjoy it. I want to ask you about the bobbleheads you did for the Nets. How do you design a bobblehead? I like I said, I saw that, like, that's cool. Like I love the old school bobbleheads. And what kind of process goes into it? Do you have to like map it out like that?
Yeah, well, my favorite was the Biggie Smalls that I did for the that took 6 months.
6 months
of back and forth, but from his team. No, we don't like his head. You got to change his shirt. You know, maybe we so I sketch it out, I draw it out, and I send it to them. You know, all fully colored and rendered, and they come back and like, no, we don't like his head. It's too this, and it's just a back and forth, and then we send the drawing to the factories, and they do a clay sculpture. They actually sculpt it out.
Right. Okay.
And then they send it back to me. I tweak it in Photoshop if I don't like something. It's like, no, I need it to look like this. I mean, his hands smaller or his eyes a little bigger. So I go in Photoshop and I, you know, manipulate the sculpture they sent me virtually. And then it's just back and forth. I color them, and they have to approve of them. You know, so yeah, those bobbleheads, it's a 6-month process. Yeah. It takes a while. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to take that long, but you know, I would do it in ZBrush, 3D sculpt it. That's the way I would do it. But you know, I guess, you know, every company does things differently.
Okay.
So yeah. But the bobbleheads, yeah, I really enjoyed designing those, and they were a big hit for the fans. You know, when
it's funny you mentioned Biggie Smalls, because that's the one that stuck out to me. I was looking at them all, and I said the Biggie one's awesome.
Yeah, I really like that one. That one came out really. I was really proud of that one. It's a shame though, because they only made, was it 10,000?
Right.
You know, and the first 10,000 fans get it, and then everyone's left to cry. Oh, I want one, and they sell them on eBay. But I think that if a team wants to do it right, they should do everybody gets one. That would be cool, or at least have it available to purchase afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss my bobbleheads. You don't get bobbleheads out here. They don't show up in football stadiums here. I think they show up in football stadiums and men on the pitch. So
Yeah.
I own two bobbleheads. One is a Powerpuff Girls bobblehead, and one is Buddy Christ from the movie Dogma.
Do they do promos in
No, not really.
Not all, huh? The
Scottish.
fan base is so strong that they don't need to do anything, right?
I just don't think it's part of the culture here. I think clubs are probably missing a trick. I think there should be more of that kind of thing. But no, you buy a program, you buy a scarf, you buy a pie, you buy a coffee.
Bovril, you get Bovril.
Bovril, yeah. Oh God, Bovril's actually horrific, man. I don't know how anyone can drink it, but always when I go to Tynecastle to see Heart of Midlothian, who are my favourite football club, it's hot chocolate I have.
Right.
It's chocolate flavoured hot water, really, more than anything.
It's completely different out here, Ramon. Like, so Bovril is like a beef flavored drink. I guess that's the best way to describe it. I shit you not. That's how they sell this thing.
It's just it's basically beef tea.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I've had like two in my life because I've attended two football matches, and everyone's like, you got to get like a macaroni pie, and you got to exactly. And you got to get a Bovril. And I was just like, all right.
When in Rome.
Really interesting here because I worked for Edinburgh Council of Sports because I did baseball Scotland here, and so I worked in the sports department. And I had a chance to work with Edinburgh Rugby, and they have a big 60,000 seat stadium that the local rugby team, I think, when on a good day, draw like 6,000 fans. So it's not a big thing at all. You're not gonna do that. And I went to a match, and I was like, okay, like, where's the entertainment? Like, okay, like, where's the food? Where can I get a burger, man? I need a burger. Like, and they're like, what are you on about? And I was like, well, what do you guys do? Like I don't understand the matches on.
We queue for a piss at halftime.
Yeah, exactly, that's it.
That's literally it. And complain about the queues for the drinks and the prices.
Yeah, and so they don't serve alcohol in the things. I think it's changed now. I think you can start getting things now. It used to be a little more rowdy. And so unless you're like the VIP boxes, there's no alcohol.
You can get alcohol at rugby now, I think, again, but not at football.
Definitely not football. And I was telling the guy, and the guy just looked at me like I was saying that like he's got a third grade or something like that. And I was like, where's the entertainment? Like, why not get like people in like the end zones and have a drunken, fan base there where you just apply them full of alcohol and let them yell and scream the whole time. And he just went, nah.
Because, Jason, we have a massive alcohol problem in this country.
But, I would go to a rugby match if I can go, okay, I get like an all-you-can-drink pass or something like that. No, what they do for the Dodgers? The Dodgers have an all-you-eat pass. Same idea.
That would be a recipe for Civil War.
But I would go to something like that where there's some sort of like hospitality package that I could go, or like there was a rowdy section you can go to, and just go with it. I mean, I went to a Panathinaikos basketball game, and it was everything I thought a European basketball game would be. People were throwing coins. Everyone was smoking. There was flares lit off. It was awesome.
A basketball game?
In a basketball game, yeah.
Indoor.
Indoor, yeah.
Wow.
Flares indoor. Jesus Christ.
Flares, safe.
Okay.
So there is that mob mentality there, and like the guy I was with was like, yeah, those are the ultra-violent guys. Everyone just kind of clears their path, and it was funny because there was a good group of like 50 of them, and they would just start walking, and it was just like partying the Red Sea. Like everyone just got out of their way because they knew that they wouldn't be there. But fan experience isn't on the list of things to do for any kind of European game.
Right. Well, there's an idea there. little business, fan experience. Bring it.
Getting better. You'll see it with like the London clubs, and the bigger clubs will do that there. Like they've all built new stadiums now, and you can actually get like proper food. So it's kind of like that revolution of baseball stadiums in the '90s, where everyone's like, "I'm gonna have nice stuff, you get nice food there." Whereas, as I'm going to Shea Stadium, I'm guessing that you got a hot dog and a burger and a beer, and that was it.
That was it, yeah. With your cement seat.
What more do you need in life?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Just need the game.
Yeah,
the basics.
Nachos. You get the nachos with the cheese.
Now people need their steaks and their specialty burgers.
Yeah.
The one I want is what Jacob Wright, who was the first ever guest on Ball Caps and Bagpipes, when you guys were talking about going to games back in the day, he talked about the batting helmet full of ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah, that I would like to have one of those. I don't think my cholesterol level can handle it, but like that sounds like a treat.
Yeah, you gotta get ice cream out of the helmet at least once there. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I think I had a few of those, but and I collected all the helmets for a while, and it was just classic. Yeah, it was something from the games. I mean,
your parents just like, Jason, get these helmets out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ramon, how much stuff did you bring back as a kid from a Mets game? I mean, anything you could bring back, you brought back.
Yeah, even last summer, I was like, I spent like $300. I need a T-shirt and I need a hat. Oh wow, this toy's cool. It's amazing how you just want to spend. Spend at the stadium.
Cool. So what have you produced? We're gonna go late. I hope you don't mind. But for us, it doesn't matter. We're already up late, sir. And I'm having a blast chatting with you. But what are you doing for the Negro Leagues? What are you selling for us?
I'm selling an 8.5 by 11 print of Satchel Paige in card form, but it's just larger. But my idea is I want to continue to donate to the museum. So I want to start designing cards based on the Negro League players down the road. So I don't intend on stopping there. I want to, I've already spoken to Tad and the guys, so I think they're gonna let me do it. Actual baseball cards, double-sided, just the way I've been doing these. So I mean, I hope there's a good response to it. Such a good cause.
I think it is. I think, especially with the community, I think it's been so positive for everyone to kind of actually reach out there and see everyone's work and just be amazed by what's out there before. Because I think a lot of people are like, well, I knew a few people were out there, but now it's so much easier to find everybody and just be blown away by what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess as I get older, like I appreciate art that much more than when I was younger. I mean, I have a library of art books and prints and baseball cards now. I got like 15 baseball cards that I've purchased. So I'm appreciating art more, and if I can buy it from a peer, even better. Someone I know or that's created it. Oh, definitely, I want to put that on my wall or on my desk. So I mean, I'm gonna start to support my colleagues much more now. Than instead of buying on Amazon.
So when we see you 6 months, the wall behind you is be covered in everyone's artwork. Huh?
Yeah, much. I'll have a whole new office. That's my plan too. A whole new office with art everywhere, sports art. It's it's my man cave.
Yeah, absolutely. John, do you want to ask your question here?
I do. Before I do, I've got the Two Strike Noise Boys. They're watching on YouTube and they've asked, do you usually use images only from cards to work off of, or do you also use other pictures that have never appeared on cards? And also, they followed that up by asking, how did you decide on Paige? How did you decide on Satchel Paige?
For the first question, I try to use photos that no one has seen or no one has used to do a different pose. Satchel Paige, I chose him because I said this last night at the panel that he's the symbol of the Negro Leagues, and I never watched him play. I haven't even watched film on him. Everyone else I have, like Jackie Robinson and all the other greats that came from there to play onto the major leagues. I've seen them play on film. So Satchel Paige, I think is the symbol of the Negro Leagues, and I really wanted to pay tribute to him the most. So, I tried to do him right, by drawing something.
That's excellent, man. Thank you so much. And the last question that I always like to ask each of our guests is, as an American, as an artist, and as a baseball fan, what do the Negro Leagues mean to you? And how did you come to be involved with the project?
Well, I got involved with the project because I saw someone posted an advertisement that, they were going to contribute to this great fundraiser. And when I saw it, I was like, I need to be a part of this. Because I didn't know that there was a Negro League museum. I had no idea that they had a museum, and I think that's great. And I wanted to know more about the Negro League. So again, I only knew about Satchel Paige, but I didn't know about the Kansas City Monarchs or any of the teams. And by the way, they have great names and great uniforms. I'm a very visual guy. So I reached out to Tad and I said, please, check out my work, and I would love to be part of this. And he responded pretty quickly, and he was like, yeah, you can be a part of this. So that's how I got involved. And I think it's a great cause.
Amazing. Cool. All right. So
we are going to open up a pack of cards just shortly. But before we do, Ramon, would you like to plug your social media channels and website?
Yes, my website is RamonMejiaDesigns.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Mejia_designs and on Twitter at rMejiaDesigns.
Excellent, man. Jason, over to you. Let's open some cards.
Let's open some cards here. So before we get started, I want to say thank you for your donation for my raffle.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yep.
You just send the address where I need to send this to.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry, that's it. So I'm thrilled about that, and we're definitely we're gonna trade for was it a shirt? Yeah, I was gonna say a Baseball Scotland shirt.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I feel bad. Like I'm asking for every stuff. I'm like, I have nothing. Like,
no. So, you're helping me enough. Letting me on your show, please.
Okay. No worries. Yeah. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see it in hand. Like Tony Gwynn's my man, so I'm super excited. That was the one that came up there. I'm like, yes. All right. So we have 7 packs of cards. You're gonna choose which pack to open, and then we'll discuss the players out there, if anyone you remember. So you'll remember 89 Donners. Get the Griffey. 1990 score, which has the Bo Jackson where he's got the shoulder pads and that, and it's got the Frank Thomas #1 draft pick in there. So we've been opening a lot of these. These are the 91 studio cards, where they're actually like in the studio, where they're doing studio shots. 92 Pinnacle, where they have player cards of their hobbies are in there. We got 92 Donruss, which has a Cal Ripken Jr. autograph card somewhere in there. And we've got 93 Studio, which is an updated version of it, but cooler backgrounds. And we've got a modern one, Big League Baseball. So you can pick any one you like.
I'm going with the Don Ross the first.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. All right. We opened up another pack of one, and who pulled the Griffey? Was it Herm? Herm pulled the Griffey.
It was, I think, Herm, yeah.
Herm pulled the Griffey. So let's see what we got. We pulled the Bo Jackson 87 tops with Blake. That was pretty cool. So let's see what we get here. All right. We're going to start with Jesse Orosco for the Dodgers.
Jesse Orosco, 86 Mets.
Didn't he? Let's see. He is like the all-time games pitcher, isn't he? Could he pitch like he was 46 or something like that?
Oh yeah, he was still pitching when I started watching baseball, and he was about 46 years old. Yeah, he would come in for like a batter and then bugger off for the night.
Yep. Unfortunately, we don't get that anymore. No more loogies. So
yeah, true.
All right, we got Roger Clemens again.
Oh, can't say I
boy,
like
Roger.
All right, Rich Dodson for the Yankees.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know the name, but I haven't seen him play or anything like
I think you're learning all your history from these baseball cards. I know that. We probably all had 4 or 5 Rich Dobsons or something like that.
that.
Mike Heath for the Tigers. Yeah, he bounced around. A's, Cardinals, Tigers. Oh, here we go. This is a key member of the Mets. Roger McDowell.
Goodness, you know it. Yeah. Funny enough, he went to work for the Atlanta Braves as their pitching instructor.
Really?
Yeah, he's a pitching instructor for the Braves. Pitching coach. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. He was your closer there.
Yeah, he was the used to give him hot feet.
Yeah, hot feet. I miss those days of hot feet. No one does that anymore. It's too professional.
Can't do that days. He had a
yeah.
method with the gum to glue it on the. He had a whole.
You're gonna have to explain. You're gonna have to explain hot feet to me.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're in the bullpen, like you had your bullpen chairs. Obviously now it's a little bit better, and you guys would stick gum under the bottom of someone's cleat, and you would get like a drinking cup or whatever you could there, and then you would light it on fire.
Yeah, and then his foot would just flare up.
Oh God! I suppose you're sitting in the bullpen for however like 2 or 3 hours. I suppose a lot of guys, and some of them won't even get into the game. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's some baseball to watch.
I'm just surprised they haven't heard that. I've never seen that happen in Glasgow.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think it was more of like a 70s, 80s thing. I think you were bored.
Yeah, Mr. Rodriguez, don't be getting any ideas now.
Yeah.
All right. It's not Cal, but Billy Ripken.
Billy Ripken. He was a good second baseman.
Yeah.
No,
Tough one to look up your brother when he plays across the diamond for you.
Yeah, and he was a legend.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've got Steve Psycho Lyons.
Oh my goodness, the Psycho pulling his
pants. That's your boy, Jason, isn't it?
Yeah. He went to Oregon State, so I'm happy. He was one of the.
Oh, he did?
They did. He was their best player. So I was going to try to walk on at Oregon State in '94, and I talked to one of the assistant coaches, and you all know yourself playing your college ball. He goes, basically, I owe you 16 hours a day. And I went, yeah, no, not interested. And I was a pitcher. He goes, it's like until you build your strength up and get to where we think you could possibly be, like I'm just going to abuse your arm in the bullpen, and you're batting practice to everybody. I was like, yeah, no, you're really not selling me on the whole pitch here. Not that I was great by any means, and there was guys far more better than I was, but it was one of those things. Like I think I could have walked on and probably maybe made a team probably junior or senior year if I tried. But I was basically
big commitment. Yeah, big commitment.
You know what it's like. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So, being a sports artist, we've got Dick Perez. Diamond.
Nice.
That's a nice card.
Nice
design.
I really like all these Diamond King cards. Those are always a lot of fun for me. Bo Diaz, a long-time catcher for the Phillies and Reds. There you go. We got another guy. He's a Met. It was a Met, but he's a twin in this one. Frank Viola.
Sweet Music Viola. Yes. He's a St. John's guy, Queens. He grew up in Queens.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he went to St. John's University. Yeah,
now,
local.
He pitched. He was one of the pitchers in one of the best all-time college games. It was him and somebody else, and they were throwing dueling no-hitters through 10. I can't remember who the other pitcher. Yeah,
that is a good trivia question too, because that was the year St. John's went to the World Series, I think, and yeah, he dueled it out. I just don't remember.
I can't remember who. Someone played. It was another pro. They definitely made the
yeah.
And, can't remember who it was, but it was like a dueling no hitters through 10. I think it was like a 1-0 game after 11 or something like that. And that's according to the best college game ever.
Yeah,
so, close to that.
I have to Google it.
I'm Googling it as we speak.
Goldsby of the Blue Jays. Let's see.
Ron Darling.
Was it? Another Met from Yale.
It was 11 innings of no-hit baseball. Frank Viola eventually won the game in the 11th. So
Ronnie Darling, Yale University.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark
He's,
guy.
1981.
yep, I remember that. I remember
He's
seeing
still a Met announcer.
Yes,
Ronnie
I
Darling.
was asking you, still was. All right. Mark Langston for the Mariners. He was
Oh man, Langston. Wow. Yeah.
he was the key component for the Randy Johnson train, although we didn't know we have.
Yeah.
But if you could pull any card from this pack, which card would you want?
If
Not
I
Griffey.
could, not Griffey.
Not Griffey.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
Sounds like we pulled something here.
We have pulled something.
You have.
I think you're gonna lose your shit when I pull this card.
Oh,
Who is it?
Greg Jeffries.
oh,
that is fate.
that's too perfect.
I'll put this in the mail for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw it. I was like, I can't believe you pulled a Greg Jeffries for him.
I follow him on Twitter. I'm gonna tag him when I get it.
Yes, that's it. That's too good. All right. So we end on Vance Law, but we got the Greg Jeffries, and that's all
Greg
that matters here. So
that is cool.
Ramon, it's been awesome. Me and John are definitely gonna do this again another time, and
Yes.
have a longer format and have you back on because we're having so much fun. You guys are so awesome. You guys keep killing it with your baseball card art, and let's chat again soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. Both of you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You guys need any art donated, you let me know. Don't hesitate to ask.
Cool.
Awesome, Ramon. Thank you so much for joining us. It's just after 20 minutes to 2 in the morning here, but we have had such an amazing time speaking with you tonight. You and all other 3 guys that spoke with. Again, as Jason says, we have to do this again sometime and talk more.
Yes, definitely.
Baseball, and we need to do an entire separate episode just on lifeguard stories and pull some more cards. It's been an absolute pleasure.
2-hour movie. 2-hour movie if you want. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Nice, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.